jungle because I think it's one of those interesting things, but going against specifically who these players are, SD versus Sensui. We'll see if actually Sensui can have a better time because, honestly, previous game, he didn't really get to do much.
Yeah, no. Looking at game one, even SD really wasn't much of an SD. Yeah. He was more of a spoiler. Yeah. If anything, like, all right, if we catch you coming around a third of your health, you're dead, make sure.
Yeah, he had kills, but he didn't, like, there wasn't much work that had to be done for him.
If you look at his game one job description, it wouldn't be SD. Cover the name, it's not SD.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. It looks like TNC really just came in and like just wants to scramble ONIC.
Yeah,
they
woke up and chose violence. And now ONIC PH. I feel like, though, what could be the big thing that'll just throw off TNC to what they potentially want to do is if Rapid Dude plays an aggressive Ruby game. Because a good catch, ready to lock in and burst down Escalero's Kadita, Escalero will have a hard time. He won't be able to do exactly what he did in game one as that Grok. So he'll be a little bit more careful. So ONIC can just be aggressive once they see that Kadita.
Did you just say he'll be more careful?
Yeah, I take it back.
As he stands between
as he takes
tier 1 and 2.
Escalero, man. Again, I feel like this is just Escalero owning the idea of like,
man.
oh no.
I don't think this is very careful here as
he
goes down to first blood. Welcome to the caster curse.
Yeah, that was a Super Friends heat check. It's like, Super Friends was like, not 2 games in a row and not as a Kadita.
Not like this.
Not like this.
All right, so looking good here. Again, folks, you can hear the glee in Joseph's voice as he sees SD with that Dyrop jungle. And he's clearing fast, man. You couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, SD with the HD again.
Yeah, and I mean, I still think that SD this time, you take the Grok out of the equation, he's gonna have a little bit of a harder time here, but already going in, Super Prince, never mind, eat my words, takes a kill here in the mid lane.
It's a lot of CC. Dude, they're knocking people up sooner and more often than they did with the Grok.
Yeah, so a lot of knockups there. I feel like it seems like whoever Escalera catches with a Petrify, that's already set up for King Salman and himself. Like, they will get knocked up. They're gonna get crowd control to hell. TNC just needs to finish the job and burst them down.
Somebody's gonna get the wig split.
Yep. Is that an actual saying?
It is. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I just found a song called Wig Split.
Yeah.
Oh. I heard wings.
What does it exactly mean?
You get capped,
get
bro.
rocked.
Yeah, you get rocked.
Oh, just like this.
That's
Super Prince. Get his wig split. Goes down here. Turtle gonna go ahead and reset. Cram goes in with initiation. SD does fall. Sensui with a heavy spin against the wall. Escalera could be in trouble here, but there's the knockup. Escalera does fall 2 versus 2 now. Turtle pin, but it's a double kill for Dur. But Cram, pretty healthier. He's gonna push them back. Super Prince is back. What a skirmish.
that was about, what, 10-15 seconds of fighting, but it could have looked like it had gone forever.
Yeah, super scrappy there. Good sign for King Salman and I believe Cram to actually commit to just staying there and being able to deal a little bit more damage. It stopped ONIC from getting that turtle freely, and it still somehow, after all of that, ended up in the hands of TNC.
I'll show you who's SD. Again, he has... So, SD, this is how great this kid is. If he can still play an assassin role and still have that like objective-based play that he showed us in Season 9, then all the more he's that lethal.
Okay, I like the play that ONIC is going for here, though. They want to pressure the Paquito, but Escalera got the vision, and I think Yasuo does know. He knows.
Yep. I see you there.
Yeah, he's going to spot them out. Sensui's still being pretty patient, though. Escalera there for backup, too. The rest of TNC is also making their way up. I'm not sure if ONIC Philippines is actually going to commit to this now that they have the information.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of standing there that ONIC PH did. Instead of trying to get something elsewhere,
they just back off.
They were just waiting for the buff. Now TNC might find something here.
Okay, Rapidu, look at all the CC, the burst on top of it. Rapidu just going out of here.
Oh, the humanity. The chef didn't stand a chance there. What, 4 members of TNC?
Oh, man. TNC is taking ONIC on a trip on the escalator. Up to levels 2, 3, and wherever. Everyone's just flying on the side of ONIC PH. And like, the more they're trying to be a little bit more careful, but this is a good play.
Oh, they're going to find Escalator right now. Escalera going to be the one to go down with that auto attack from Super Prince.
Uh-oh.
But look at the bush. not going to be able to connect. Super Prince should be fine. Bobs and weaves out of there. Now TNC on the run. That could have been a bad situation, though, for ONIC Philippines.
TNC really is just playing like, okay, let's mess with them, while ONIC is just trying to be cool, calm, very collected right now. Similar to how they played a lot early on in the season, why they were able to get that white-hot start that they had in the first half of MPL Philippines Season 10. Let's see who's gonna come up big here as the second turtle of the game spawns. Seems like SDZYZ will not go back to his buffs, will prioritize the turtle first.
Yeah, mind you, that first turtle of the game was delayed. That's why it spawned at 5 instead of 4. So that being said, I think timing is on TNC side, but positioning is for ONIC.
TNC, though, they're in position if they want to crash down here. Vism Strike does come out, but Sensui secures the turtle. SD falls here. Killing spree already for Dur. There's the lockdown, the rough waves combination. Dur grabbing the double here. So big pickup for ONIC Philippines, the turtle as well. And now it's TNC on the defense in the mid lane.
A Vism Strike of the D-Roth was cancelled by the members of ONIC PH, hence why SDZYZ, you saw it get charged up, but was not able to let go of it just in time to help contest with that turtle. Great play by ONIC. Again, cool, calm, collected, trusting that they have the more orthodox lineup, and if the more they play just cool and calmly, they'll be able to get wins, and that was a massive win for ONIC.
And that is something that I think ONIC needs to unlock in time for the playoffs. In case teams there that they face off find a way to, like, again, scramble their timing, much like TNC has done and a few other teams in the regular season. If they fix that, if they find out how to do that, they could win more.
Now ONIC's gonna find SD again. Third death here, getting picked off in the jungle on their side. So again, could this be a weakness for TNC? Their lineup here, they do definitely still have quite a bit of CC as they find Super Prince. And that's Cram going to use the Falling Star Moon already, but nothing just yet, just poking back and forth. Also, topside, they're still working on that turn up there. They should be able to get it as they do.
Yeah, and we have to point out what ONIC has done here and their adjustments in game. Instead of giving free reign to the Paquito in the gold lane, they decided to pressure the heck out of Yasuo, break his turret right away, which is something they weren't able to do in the previous game. So ONIC are checking the boxes. Okay, they're playing a little bit more aggressively. They're keeping cool, calm, and collected, but most importantly, they're also pressuring the Paquito, which earlier in the previous game was just able to freely farm.
Oh, right now, Escalera, he was trying to, if he could get a pick off there, but unfortunately going to get punished. Goes down himself. And right now, I mean, TNC slowly, they did at one point have that gold lead, but hold on, Cram, the one to get bursted by Super Prince, and that's just going to be another turtle going into the hands of ONIC Philippines, but they find Dur as he makes his way to the bottom side. They're going to trade, though, objectives as another turret going to go down here.
By the shutdown by TNC there onto Dur, seeing that he's sitting at 4 kills.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gold going back to the Phoenix.
A good amount there, hence why ONIC's lead isn't as massive just yet, but at the end of all of that, ONIC did win those trades. They got a second turret up top. They got a turtle themselves as well. ONIC was the massive win.
Yeah, there is a small price to pay for what they've got on the map.
Exactly.
I think because of all that too, you know, Sensui being able to be a lot more proactive here this time around on the Akai, you know, he is finding the angles that he needs with the heavy spin. He's got 7 assists, and he's just having an overall easier time here in this game. And as they continue to look for picks, build this gold lead if they can, you know, that's something, again, that TNC really has to stop from happening. But already, look at Rapidu making his way down here. Nets, it is going to end up being a 2 versus 2. Cram did come in time, not in time enough, as King Solomon does go down. Now it's Cram on the run here. Falling Star Moon doesn't have the sprint, but should be fine. Meanwhile, on the top side, Escalera could be in trouble here. There you go, Sensui, but waiting in the bush is SD and Yasuo. Can they convert this to anything? The Flicker Burst comes in. They go down. It's SD that falls. Double kill for Super Prince. And now Yasuo. Can he actually escape? This should be able to be fine for now.
Man, the biggest question in my head right now is why would you dive and try to burst down a spinning Akai? My biggest question right now to TNC.
Super Prince gonna try to cut Cram off. Cram actually gonna be able to survive, has the sprint, but they lose another turret here.
That's where the gold lead for ONIC comes into play.
Yeah.
They're what, about 3K ahead? That converts into what, an item and a half ahead of TNC? That's why they couldn't burst out Sensui. If it was a different story here with TNC maybe up by 1,000 or 2, then maybe Sensui would have died, but it's not quite so. Not the same thing, and it's huge credit to ONIC for figuring out that, all right, that time we played Calm and Collected for the past 5 or 6 minutes is now paying off. It's our time. It's ONIC time.
The in-game adjustment that ONIC did to make sure that TNC won't run all over them like what they did in game number 1. Huge, massive props here for ONIC PH. It's just simple adjustments that are having massive implications to the game now with them in the lead. With their picks. The Toms early on was great with just constantly fighting those duels. Hence why Bear started off this game 4-0-2, and now TNC can't find the same flow and momentum that they had in the previous game because ONIC isn't giving it to them.
Yeah, and so they grab the Lord here. Conceal Play gonna come out. They do spot Rapidude, forcing TNC back. But the thing is too, you know, Super Prince being on this Valentina, you take a lot away just having that rough wave ultimate, right? And that's what we're seeing them here. Here's another combination as they find Escalera. And that's once again Sensui starting that one again. Dur gonna be traded here, pops the Vengeance, but does go down.
They gotta run.
The rest of ONIC Philippines though making their way, the entire team making their way here. Can they get back in time? It's SD. He goes down. And one escapes. Cram still there, though.
SD was punching into the air when Nets was just blasting him point blank with the SMG.
He was just dodging and weaving, or literally the air helped him. It is a wind of nature out after all. No wonder why Nets was so brave to just face check that bush. I was wondering, like, is Nets not? I thought he would use his ultimate or something to check it. Nope, he had a wind of nature. Yeah. That's why he could afford to face check there.
He knew, and he knew.
Yeah. And right now, ONIC knows with a Kadita roam, still having to build up the items, they can afford to show themselves with the Kadita. They just really need to be careful not to get locked up in all those crowd controls. They still have to respect that possibility. But ONIC know that they can play more aggressive like what they're playing right now, just immediately forcing back SD, ZYZ, and the rest of TNC from their own jungle just by showing themselves.
Oh, what a choke. Look at this now. ONIC is just brazen. They're just coming in.
Okay, look at the backside. King Solomon able to flicker out. Should be fine. Nets, though! He gets found by Yasuo, and now Super Prince going to be chased down. It's a shutdown. SD finds the mark. And now Cram pushing the rest of the members of ONIC Philippines back here. Can TNC convert this into some turrets at least? That's what they're going to be looking to do here as they push in the waves a little bit more.
ONIC got a big mouthful of the TNC sandwich. That was a great adjustment by the members of TNC. Cram and Yasuo coming from the back of ONIC to pinch the members of ONIC in between them to fall. And now TNC, just like that, have found a little bit more breathing room in the map, have narrowed the gold lead that ONIC once held at like 4,000, 5,000 gold. And now ONIC need to watch themselves again, need to be careful again.
So I was just saying before that whole ONIC wipe or close to it, I was going to say that this doesn't hurt as much, right? But again, it's just Escalera versus 4 or 5. Now, it's slowly but surely TNC building up those physical damage items as well. So ONIC, if you'll check their items, they're rocking a Radiant Armor on one, and then 2 or 3 Athena shields on everyone else. Now even SD and Yasuo is gonna hurt. So who are you gonna run from?
Yeah, it's tough too because, you know, for TNC specifically, this Escalera being on the Kadita, we just saw it right there, and like you were mentioning with the itemization, Leo, it's you want to be able to convert the combination into a burst here, but here in the mid side, they do convert that one. Yasuo goes in. It's Super Prince that falls here, and now Escalera is back up, so TNC having the advantage if they want to control this part of the Lord. That's what ONIC Philippines has to worry about.
They're a man down. They can't do this without Prince, and given how much firepower TNC has, Joseph, it's looking like they better just wait for Prince and call me Daniel.
Daniel. Thank you, Daniel.
Better room, guys. Now for TNC. Escalera needs to be careful again. I think the main target for him has to be Nets here this time around. even though Superface does look like a great target for getting bursted down, Nets here needs to go down quickly. They need to find him. That's why the positioning of TNC is great. The possible choke point of where Nets could pass through. Even if Nets passes through where he looks like he might pass through now, he's still gonna get he's still gonna eat up a combo from Yasuo and King Salman.
Okay, well, they're not going to give a go on the Lord just yet. There's the heavy spin. Escalator could be in trouble. Can't get out of that one.
That's
Falls
massive.
here, and now it's the rest of the member of his TNC trying to run here. Yasuo going to be able to survive. Flickers out. Meanwhile, SD fighting off Dur. This is a lot of push and pull here from both teams. Nothing just yet.
And now the shoe is on the other foot because it's now TNC.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, the tail! It's
so close!
No,
SD, though, able to turn it around with Yasuo's help. And now the Lord is still going to be worked on from Sensui. But look at Cram just being annoying on that part. But look at this. King Salman going to push that bottom side. What does ONIC Philippines want to do here? The Lord is going to be less than half health, 1/4 actually. Turret goes down. Who secures the Lord? It is Sensui. So it's an objective for an objective, and Cram still pushing them back here in the mid lane.
Oh, it's good. Oh!
King Salman comes in. Can they capitalize on this? Lord is there. Nets joins the party. 2 turret falls here. TNC gonna have to work on this Lord for now. They got to be careful. The rest of the team of ONIC Philippines is now up. They've got to be very careful on how they approach it. Lord still going to be worked on. Cram trying to scout that part of the jungle out. They're going to back off for now.
Oh, wow. This isn't the TNC we know. This is a very different, more aggressive, dare I say crazier TNC.
Whoa! A flicker out!
Oh, King Solomon! Able to live. He's got to be careful, though. But look at that. SD does fall in the mid lane. ONIC Philippines capitalizing on that positioning here. Concealed Play going to come out. They're going to go ahead and control more parts of TNC's jungle. Cram's got to be careful here.
Cram needs to run, but at the same time, TNC don't need to commit this. ONIC don't need to commit so much just to take down an Esmeralda.
Yeah, he's going to get pulled here. Not much you can do here. Didn't have the sprint either.
Yeah, I mean, 3v1, even in the late game, against a lineup that's rocking a Valentina and Beatrix like that. Yeah, there was not much Cram could have done. Amazing work, though, by King Salman, at least buying some time on the map. That's permanent damage that ONIC has to keep tabs on.
Yeah, and look at how much damage ONIC needs to watch out for. That's 4 members built for damage on the side of TNC.
Look at Escalera, he's waiting patiently. He's got an immortality work through, though. Not sure if he's actually going to commit it. He does try to find the right target. It's Nets, though. Finds the perfect target. Cram still dead. Escalera does fall, but they're down. ONIC Philippines is down Nets. So right now, it's pretty even across the board. They've got to back off.
1-for-1, the way that TNC has drafted and played this game is no one is truly expendable. So whenever they trade with you, you feel like you lose every single time.
It's literally Cram just built for defense right now. Everyone else is built for physical penetration, magic penetration. That's just all damage on the side of TNC, hence why the point you just mentioned now, Leo. ONIC, they can spend for a lot, like 2 members of TNC just to take them down, but TNC will always have the damage to answer right back.
Wow. And now we're going into that point of the game where everyone just starts buying immortalities.
Yeah.
And this might be the game changer this time around. Again, TNC, their lineup is very unorthodox. It's bombastic. It's a lot of damage. But ONIC has all the tools in the world to just force a game number 3 right now. Sensui is deathless, and we see how much Sensui is still doing in terms of being able to force back the members of TNC from securing lords and objectives. It's difficult for the members of TNC to do that with an Akai spinning around, knocking back SCZYZ out of retribution range. And now TNC's plan to actually go for a split push attempt has been cancelled by ONIC PH using that magic sentry to give the info that there are 4 members of TNC there, and that's a massive lead now for ONIC. Might be a freer lord here, but TNC are still in position to threaten this attempt.
Yeah, that was a big pickup already, getting King Salman down here. Lord at just about half health. You can see TNC still finding placement here. Cram should be able to... Oh, he doesn't get out, though. And now Escalera going to be the focus. Another member for TNC falls. Meanwhile, Yasuo is still going to park himself in the bottom side, but this is just going to be another Lord going to the hands of ONIC Philippines for now.
The TNC sweep is looking bleak. Not like this with 3 men down, all 5 members of ONIC out. They can take down Rapidot, but 2v2 here with Sensui just securing that Lord. Oh no, that's gonna look red in just a bit.
Yeah, TNC are gonna lose a lot in this push unless they're gonna force a crazy attempt at stopping the members of ONIC from doing something. Looks like they're gonna go for another sandwich play. STZ, YZ, and Yasuo are in perfect position for that, but they need to go now. That's a lot of threat there in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to have to call that one off, back off here. Rest of the members of TNC weren't up in time for them to actually make a play on that. So they're going to lose the resources. They also have 2 turrets down now. They were only holding on to that top side. TNC has to find their pick. You know, that's what ONIC Philippines is doing, again, with Super Prince here, especially. If they can get the numbers advantage in some way or another, that will really allow TNC to push down the mid lane to get into ONIC Philippines base in the mid lane at least and even things out. But right now, that is the big obstacle in front of them.
Oh,
so
jungler fight.
Delaying it, because look at that top side push by Yasuo. They do have to go back to base to defend this Lord.
Yeah, meanwhile, Escalera are going to have to pop the rough waves again as Super Prince there. Cram there to help him out, though. They might try to sandwich in here. Cram still looking into the angle in the backside. A Lord has to be worked on. Escalera still waiting patiently here. ONIC Philippines has to be careful. Rapidude. Winter Tranche is going to be popped. There's Cram. Falling Star Moon to the backside. Can they find Nets? That's what they're looking for. They can't find Nets. Does fall, but so does Escalera. So far, it's the 1-for-1. Cram trying to buy some time, but he falls next. Can TNC defend this? 3 versus 4 here. This is going to be a struggle for TNC. ONIC Philippines are looking to take this to game 3. Can they punch it in? Rapidude goes in. They pop the immortality. Going to be working on the base here. King Salmon trying to buy some time. Can he do it? Durr still working on the base. Another immortality going to be popped. It's a double kill for Super Prince. It's a wipeout, the triple kill. And that's going to be it. ONIC Philippines takes us to game 3.
Cool, calm, collected. We're not gonna get surprised this time around, says ONIC PH and TNC. No surprises, no upsets this time around. They're taken to a game 3 by ONIC PH.
The Super Rookies of Season 10 have forced TNC to come up with something new because it seems like Game 1's gambit ain't cutting it anymore. Not in this league, not in this match, not tonight.
Talk about a quick adjustment, too. You know, from what we saw in Game 1, how we saw things kind of play out in the draft for Game 2. You know, like you guys said, Renmar, Daniel, things just kind of worked really well in the draft, the way that they countered what that initial plan was, again, for specifically TNC.
And almost, again, word for word, like they still picked up the Beatrix, that they needed to look for certain replacements for some, but again, the ingredients were the key ingredients were present.
Yeah, and again, just the adjustment of ONIC in their in-game rotations.
Yeah.
More pressure early on
and
the Yasuo. Cool and collected. Eventually, Escalera's heroic attempts at getting a massive knock-up burst damage onto the key members there of ONIC PH, specifically Super Prince, was his key target at one point. Super Prince just really held on to the dashes of the Valentina so well. Again, the Valentina has 2 dashes. He literally just kept using the first dash. The moment he sees Escalera come in, he's already no longer in range of getting knocked up by Escalera. The second dash is just for readjustment so that you can do the burst damage. And Super Prince, the way he bounced back in this game was really great as well. Early on, he was the one who, I think, set the tempo for TNC. Now, you can't do that against Escalera. So as the game went on, it was Super Prince just dodging and weaving, being able to burst, terrify, crowd control, avoid damage, steal the right ultimate, specifically the ultimate of the Karita to keep himself alive, came in massive for ONIC PH.
Given everything that happened in this game, you're right. Just what you just said, put it into context. Prince did so much in Game 2 to take us into Game 3, effectively telling TNC, not again, not like this. We're about to throw it over to our dashing analyst, Robert Midnight Neil de Guzman. Take it away.
ONIC answers back on game number 2 on the back of an amazing performance from Super Friends. My name is Midnight, and again, we're going to be breaking down as to how ONIC managed to win over TNC, even though it was the same recipe that TNC ran from game number 1. The key difference here is that on game number 2, they had the Valentina. The Valentina made a world of difference in this game. He was able to control TNC during the early game, providing a lot of space and momentum for TNC. And also, one thing to note is that they weren't able to shut down Beatrix at this point, even though the lineup of TNC had enough ways to take him down. Again, we're going to be looking at the post-game stats here, as well as the item builds. If you look at the lineup of TNC, they have Escalera and the Kadita, which can burst down the targets on the side of ONIC Philippines. We also have SDZYZ that can, punish the heroes that go below a certain threshold of HP. But the main problem is that they don't have enough poke, because this lineup is centered mainly on bursting heroes down. They need some sort of poke for TNC. It should come from King Salman on the Julian, but he was prevented by Super Prince and Rapido. For the majority of the game, ONIC Philippines were chasing the mid lane heroes from the side of TNC, and it was enough for ONIC to maximize the space that they were given. Even though ONIC won the early game, it's still a hard battle because there's a lot of ways for TNC to engage against the Beatrix. For one, we saw Yasuo burst down the Beatrix at some point, but this is the difference. ONIC Philippines had protected the gold laner on their side, which is what allowed them to have a fantastic rotation